Let's go on to our next speaker is Esther Phahla. Esther has been a member of Toastmasters for 10 years. She has served in several leadership positions, including first as District 12 Director, the first District 12 Director and Pathways Ambassador. 2015-16, she led her team to District 12 Toastmasters to President's Distinguished for the first time in 20 years. She has founded and helped to start more than 30 Toastmaster clubs, mentored many members in the district and leaders in District 12 and other districts. She currently serves as the treasurer for Professional Women's Toastmasters Club. She's been awarded numerous awards in Toastmasters, including Area Governor of the Year, Runner-Up, Division Governor of the Year, the Lydia Boyd Leadership, Excellence Team, Excellence in Marketing, Spirit Award, Milestones Award, the Penny Cole Achievement Award for her service in both Toastmasters and in the community. And in all her leadership service, she has completed the term of President's Distinguished Area, Division, and District Director. She's grateful to Toastmasters that she can use some of those skills in her capacity as a business owner. She is the founder and president, CEO of Esther Phahla CPA, a professional corporation specializing in tax preparation and or tax resolution and business consulting of small businesses and individuals. She is certified public accountant, certified tax strategist, dedicated to helping small business owners and individuals design an optimal tax strategy to help them keep more of what they earned, because it's not how much you earn, it's how much you get to keep. Growing up in Johannesburg, South Africa, the city of gold, that's where she discovered her gold come along as she shares how District 12 got the gold with her speech, going for the gold, imagine the possibilities. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome. District Toastmaster qualified speaker, President's Distinguished, past District Director, Esther Phahla, and welcome to you, Esther.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker's Bureau. Fellow Toastmasters, going for the gold, imagine the possibilities. What is that all about? Tom did allude to this. I grew up in Johannesburg, South Africa, and Johannesburg was called the City of Gold. Men would leave their homes to go mine gold in Johannesburg to be able to support their families. But on the other hand, I had a young gymnast in the house, and while competing, this is all I heard. They were all going for this gold. We even attended some gymnastics competitions, all because my young daughter wanted this. We were so fortunate that year, Toastmasters even introduced these medals. We were not even aware that they existed. Then the theme carried. Of course, it was the Olympic year. But today, we're going down this memory lane. I want us all to go down this memory lane. It's been a good 8 years. And today, even Facebook reminded me on the day of our conference, it was held May 2nd. And that's the day that I became the district director, on that day in 2015. But also on the other hand, with taking you down memory lane, I want you to think of the first day you walked into that Toastmasters club. Can you remember? Some of you, it's a month ago. For some of you, it's a year ago. And for some of you, it's many moons ago. Tom, talking to you. But with this, what pushed you to come in the door? Was it your coworkers, your boss? My favorite one is when you yourself discover that you need the program. That I call the gold, because nobody said go. I said, I'm going. What happened next? I was given an application. I decided I want this. Fellow Toastmasters, when you get that application, you were inducted. There is a Toastmasters promise on that application form. Can you unmute yourself and tell me some of what's on that application? Can you remember? Or have we gotten complacent like our international president just put in the chat?
Toastmasters promise.
Yes, Karen. What else is on there? There are about 10 items listed. Can you name one, somebody?
Who referred you?
Nope. It's a promise to you. What were you promising to yourself?
I promised to serve in an office or position when called upon.
Oh, I like that
Absolutely.
one. That's my favorite one. Number 6, Roger. Roger that, right? Anybody?
I do, Lois,
Yes, hi, Lois.
to prepare for speeches to the best of my capability.
Awesome. That's the second one.
And Marilyn says to support other people.
Yep, that's
members.
you're right. Number 4, you provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations. That's where the support comes in, right? Well, we have. Oh, who's speaking?
This is Kimberly. I want to
Hi.
suggest one that says that I will attend whenever possible, as much as possible.
That is the first one, Kimberly. That is the reason you paid that money to join. And it's the number 1. You will attend regularly. Let me put them up here on screen for all of you.
Esther, Greg Scott.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, to act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence.
I
When
see you. You are reading from somewhere. Yes, that's number 10. I was hoping, yes, they're right here on screen for all of us. All those 10, that's your Toastmasters promise to yourself when you are inducted. And I'm hoping when your VP membership inducts your members, they get to say this. It's not a shortcut, so that that new member knows what they're in for and they can live up to this promise. Now, fellow Toastmasters, this is where your journey begins. As soon as you are done with this application, you sit down with your mentor. Your VP education now gets you to sit down with a mentor. You either choose one or we assign you one in our clubs. You get started with your icebreaker speech. You do the meeting roles. The less demanding ones first is an accountant, grammarian, timer. You move on to your speech number 2, and eventually you finish level 1, since we're now in pathways and working in levels. But here's the favorite part, and this is where I always talk about humanizing our club program. Once you finish that level 1, what happens? Anybody? What happens once you complete your level 1? What happens?
You receive a certificate and go to level 2.
Yes, but see, Anna, that is your accomplishment as your individual member, but who else benefits?
The club.
It's a win-win, a double benefit, and many of us never realize this. You have just contributed to your club's success without even noticing it by just focusing on you. So fellow Toastmasters, as we progress through the journey, our journey in Toastmasters, there's definitely a double win in everything that we go through. That's your journey. 60% of what we do in our clubs has to do with us, individual members. What we came to do, what we paid for. Your levels, accomplishing your speaking and your leadership goals. That's 60%. Once the program works for you, what happens? Many of us, when we go out, you have a restaurant that you like, you start enjoying it. What do you do when you like that restaurant?
You go back.
You go back, or what you do, Matt, you recommend it to others and others come, right? You share, sharing is caring. Same thing with Toastmasters. You've gone through this 60%, your educational awards. My goodness, I'm growing. I can now give a presentation. I know how to walk the stage. I know how to do some vocal variety. I can do a presentation at work. Hey, friend, you've got to experience this with me. Our founder said it best. Let us share the benefits we have gained with others. You invite your friends. You don't keep Toastmasters a secret. This is where we move on to the 20% of what we're achieving at Labs, our membership. We invite others to come in and join us. Once the others have joined us, in every organization, we need some leaders. We know we are all leaders who are capable of leading, but you know the chaos, right? Somebody has to be in charge. We cannot all be in charge. Therefore, in Toastmasters, we have those lucky sevens that do become our leaders that we look to for direction. And our leaders are provided with some kind of training. But did you know that those skills are transferable? When you hold a leadership skill in Toastmasters, oh, I jumped forward, but it's okay. Those skills are transferable. What does a club president transfer to? On a much less scale, what can you equate a club president to? Fellow Toastmasters, are you there? That's a CEO in a company. If you can be trusted with little, you can be trusted with more. What about VP education? That's your human resources. Whatever the VPE gets to do, for some of you who have worked in HR, human resources, that's that. VP membership, we have to get this one. Come on.
Sales.
Sales, marketing, VP public relations. What is that all about? Publicity, branding. We're all on social media on a daily basis. We're somehow rebranding ourselves as individuals, but also in Toastmasters, you take on that role. I've seen several members from my club who became VP public relations, and all of a sudden now they know how to do this, and that. And then somebody now owns a business in that scenario. And I go, wow, all from being in Toastmasters, taking the officer role, and all of a sudden now you have a side gig. Fellow Toastmasters, these skills are transferable. Your treasurer, that's money management. Your secretary, that's your executive assistant. Your sergeant at arms. You get to keep club property, company property. Do not forget that those are your transferable skills. The officers, of course, a better trained officer is able to do that job. As a CPA, I'm required to take continuing education every year. I may know what I'm doing, but I feel better knowing that I am up to date with the new laws. And when a client comes in, I feel confident that I've just obtained this training. I know that even if I was not required to do the training, I would do it because it makes me a better professional. This applies to you, fellow Toastmasters. When you are an officer, you attend your training, you are better equipped to go back to your clubs and do a better job. I know you'll say, I've been doing this role for a while. I know what I'm doing. No, it's like a good book. You read it today, you put it aside. The next time you come back to that book, you discover, oh my goodness, did I skip this page the first time? No, you realize that repetition creates that whole reinforcement. The next one, it's all about you now reinvesting in yourself. You joined the program. You cannot just leave just because you know how to prepare one speech. No, you keep on reinvesting. Like many organizations, we belong in professional organizations. We keep renewing because there's more. I want to be a better person than I want to be better tomorrow than I was yesterday. You continue on. When we elect our officers, don't forget to put them on so that we know who these leaders are by submitting them. That, in a nutshell, fellow Toastmasters, that's humanizing the Distinguished Club programs. The Distinguished Club program. It's not just numbers, it's the human beings that sit on a chair every week in our clubs, or maybe once a month, depending on how many times your club meets. If we can see the Distinguished Club program as that, it starts with you. This is how District 12 achieved its goal. It started with one member walking in the door, progressing through every single little step, working on themselves, contributing to the club. It built that foundation. There's a new requirement for membership. I think Toastmasters has made it really easy for us here. You can either do your 20 members or a mere net growth of 3. These 2 years, that's all you need. Do you know 3 friends that can join your club? Every member brings 1. It's doable, fellow Toastmasters. Once the club has done its part, of course, we have another important piece to the puzzle. This individual serves as the liaison between districts and clubs. They're required to do 2 visits, but that second goal there, it says deposit before you withdraw. I always encourage our area directors, before you come in bearing papers and asking me to do anything, come and say hello first. Let me get to know you. It's like going to a bank. You can't just start putting in your card and withdrawing, knowing very well that you did not put money in there. When you come and introduce yourself, I now can say, oh, hi, Anna, how are you? And Anna can even do better. As a new officer, she comes in and installs us to make it official. We feel special. The president is holding the gavel, passing it on, passing it on, passing it on. We feel official. That is the whole foundation of how things exist in Toastmasters. This pyramid shares everybody. People join the club. This is where the club is. It may seem like it's at the bottom, but without this foundation, that is our foundation. There is no area, there is no division, and there's definitely no district. All we do starts at the club level, and it starts with a member. I know not all of our clubs can be as successful. Just like in life, we get ailments there, we get challenges there. When we are sick, we go and see a doctor, we go for a health checkup. In Toastmasters, our health checkup is our moments of truth. If your club is not doing well, they cannot achieve that distinguished status. What do you do? It's time to assess. First impressions. Were the guests greeted when they first walked into that door? Do you have a guest book where you can follow up once they've put that name there? Do you have a meeting room that is easily accessible? Are guests invited to address the club? How did they find you? And the best one, invite them to join. It's not pressure. It's saying, I'm welcome to hear your ideas. I want you to be one of us, and there's something here for you. The second one is membership orientation. When your members join, don't just dump them with pathways. They need that mentor. They need to be oriented into the program. They need to be assigned a mentor. You need to also assess, why are they here? This is where Pathways is this beautiful program where when you take the assessment, it really spills out what's closer to your heart. Fellowship and variety. Are you friends with your fellow Toastmasters outside of the club? Or do you just say, oh, the meeting's done, I'm going home. I'll see you next week. No, build those bonds, enjoy each other's company, have fun with each other. Program planning. Do you have agendas at your meetings? Do your meetings begin and start on time, or do you just have a social club? People come in, they walk out, you don't even know what happened to that guest. Oh, so-and-so was here to see us. Oh, they left, you pointing them as they leave. No, Take time to spend with those fellow members, with those brand new guests. Membership strength, I talked about it. You need that 20 or at least a net growth of 3. Retention, that's very important. Don't only be looking for new members. Let's retain the members that we have. What are we doing to make sure that the program is fresh, the program is really enjoyable? The final one, achievement and recognition. Tom Jameson talked about it. Recognition equals motivation. When your members achieve their awards, do you brag about them? Do they bring their certificates? Do you take pictures? I love my professional women Toastmasters Club. Our public relations, our VP public relations is ready with her phone. Stand there next to the banner. We're all posing. And she's ready to put us on Facebook. She's ready to put us on LinkedIn. She's ready to put us on Instagram. Ready to make sure that our club is known. And the best one recently, the area director visited us and gave us a far exceeding expectations. Do you want to be part of a far exceeding expectations club? I do. I don't want to belong to a mediocre club. I don't do mediocre. Sorry, right, Roz? We want all of us to succeed. Fellow Toastmasters, that's at the club level, but at the district level, what did we really do that year to achieve President's Distinguished and really go for this gold? This is the book and the secret behind it. I started reading this book earlier on, used it in my business. It served me very well. But I discovered the principles that are in here can easily be applied to Toastmasters. When I looked at the district leadership handbook, I discovered it's already divided in 12-week increments. All I have to do, put the team together and really apply this in those 12-week increments. Why the 12-week year? Let's address the what, the why, the how, the when, and the when. What is the 12-week year? It's an execution system. Planning is fun, but you must execute. Some of the fun words that I love to use with execution is results. Are you focused? I want to see some kind of accomplishment. Implementation. They were done. Check mark, green. Complete. Action. Productive, not busy. Whenever I talk to somebody and say, I've been so busy, and I go, oh, please, that is my pet peeve. Let's say productive. Replace it with productive. Why the 12-week year? Let's analyze this and how District 12 really got to implement this. Get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. We are redefining the year. Most of us think when we have the year, we still have time, we can cruise along. Oh, it's okay, I'll do it next month. The 12-week year allows us to throw the annual plan. It creates a healthy sense of urgency to say, I've got to do this now because tomorrow I have better things to do. But the most important one, you avoid the overwhelm, having to do a lot at the end. Here are some principles, the fundamental elements of this book. You need a vision. Of course, planning is important. You look at your process control. You have to measure what you're doing. How are you using your time? Accountability, commitment, and greatness in the moment. Let's go through each one of them. These three principles, accountability, commitment, and greatness in the moment. We'll start with vision. Your vision should be big enough that it makes you feel at least a little bit uncomfortable. What was uncomfortable for myself as a district director and scary? The words President's Distinguished District 12, 2015, 2016. These words were on every flyer, and every time I saw them, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm really saying these words, and I'm encouraging our members to say these words. And the funny part is, whenever I showed up at events, people will start saying them back to me. And that's what I loved. I'm like, oh, the message is clear, District 12. We are going for the gold. Imagine the possibilities. Isn't it fun when people can repeat what you are saying without you even saying it? The planning process, what happened? The plan structure. You have to make the goal specific and measurable. State it positively. Yes, President's Distinguished District 12. That's what we want to accomplish. Ensure it's a realistic stretch. You assign accountability. All of us are accountable. And let it be time bound. We knew we had 6:30, 2016 to achieve the goal. Therefore, it had to happen in a timely manner. What was the process that we used? Weekly routine. What did we do? Weekly meetings. We used what we call Scrum. On top of the 12-week year, we broke it down. The PQD, Program Quality Director, Anjanette, myself, and our Lab Growth Director, David Carpenter, met on a weekly basis. With Scrum, the only items you focus on is, what are you working on? What are your challenges? What did you accomplish? That's how we were able to help each other. And you need to score that week. How did we measure? We had our lead and lag indicators. Most of you know me, I love the dashboard. That's how I measure everything. The dashboard does not lie, unless of course there's some errors and you can fix them with Toastmasters International. But look at the next point, 85% score. The 12-week year is only asking you for a B. It's not even requiring an A, just a B. Acquire 85%. Can you live with a B? I know you overachievers out there, you want A, but let's settle for this B for now. You need your feedback. That's how we grow. The progress, again, we go back to the dashboard for progress. How did we use our time? Blocking is very important. We had strategic blocks, 3 hours once a week. Buffer blocks, 30 minutes. This is where you check your emails. Did a member send me an email? Did an area director send me an email? Is there an issue? Breakout blocks, 3 hours once a month. These are our DEC meetings. What are we accomplishing? Accountability. Ownership, not punishment. If you can own something and say, this is mine, I want to do my best, that's not punishment. But what exactly is ownership? If you want different results, then you need to be willing to do differently and do different things. Something has to change. It's like saying insanity, doing the same thing over and over, hoping to get different results. No, things have to change in order for you to get that ownership. The commitment. This was a personal promise, the individual goal. Each one of you as members, you had your own individual goals. As a district director, I had my own individual goals. The titles were changing that year, moving from governor to director. And I thought that would be a good time to really have District 12 on that stage. It became a personal goal, but I could not achieve a personal goal without every single one of you, the member. You need to have a buy-in. You need to be part of this goal. Go public with it. You've got to declare it. Again, President's Distinguished. Those are my scary words, and we got to share in the scariness. Another favorite part, greatness in the moment. As many of you know, athletes don't just start training today and hope for a gold and go to the Olympics. No, they start early on, they train. Greatness is not achieved when the result is reached, but rather long before that, when you choose to do the things that you know you need to do. You can't start June 1 hoping for a President's Distinguished District on June 30th. You can't, as a club, on June 1st say, oh, we're going, let's go, let's do this. No, things have to be done holistically, progressing throughout the year. And the program, that's how it becomes enjoyable. Ralph C. Smedley, again, said it best. We learn best in moments of enjoyment. We don't want to make Toastmasters a job and a chore and beating people up. No. What are you here for? I'm here for myself. And as a result, I'm here for you. We're starting to enjoy each other's company. When this is a day in and day out routine, you make it your weekly thing, weekly task, you work through your time blocks. Definitely for me, what I've realized is it's applicable in every area of your life. When you feel better at work, when you feel better at home, when you feel better in your health, it pours in other areas. Now we're coming to the home stretch of District 12. Going for the gold, imagine the possibilities. How did we get to do this? Most of the time at Toastmasters Leadership Institute, I hear we give officer training, we talk about club success plan. And of course, Toastmasters International talks to the district leaders. You need to submit your district success plan by September 30th. But in between, the division directors and area directors, most of the time are not asked to do their own success plan. And what I've always said is, how can you walk out and tell a club that I want to see your club success plan when you, an area director, did not create one? As a leader, you lead by example. You cannot ask of others what you are incapable of doing. That year, everybody was asked to prepare one, and a stretch goal. President's distinguished club, area, division, and district. All of us were in this together. Of course, the planning is all around the mission of the district. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. The journey began. Now let's break it down for District 12, how the plan transpired. The critical success factors, there's 3 of them. You have new clubs, you have membership payments, and you have distinguished clubs. For District 12, we said 1 new club per division per 12 weeks. We have 5 divisions, division A, B, C, D, E. That meant 5 new clubs per 12 weeks. What does 5 new clubs per 12 weeks mean? It means 20 new clubs that year. But we had a stretch goal. We had 26 areas. Therefore, our stretch goal was 1 new club per area, and every area director was asked to do that. This was my wish. No club loss. We know that's not possible. But you have to put some unrealistic wishes somewhere and think, let's hope for the best. And I'm sad, Anna, I saw the very first lab that we chartered that year that set us on a trail to a President Distinguished District. It closed yesterday, but it's okay. It had its run. People grew out of it. I don't believe there's ever a lost skill. Whatever skill you acquire, you can use it somewhere else. And thank you for that, Anna. I want to acknowledge that. We moved to membership payments. How did we accomplish membership payments? Open houses quarterly. It wasn't a hit and miss just because our clubs were not doing well. It was planned. Every quarter, we held open houses, people got incentives. And you know why? If you start somewhere in July, August, September, that member who joins as a brand new member, that equal to 3 members if they stay the whole year. If you have another open house in the time frame of October to March, new members join, they equal to 2. You can do a speech craft. The program is already tailored for you. It's done for you. That's our Toastmasters program. That's how you gain and increase your membership. The distinguished clubs, we had an incentive, 5 distinguished club program goals with goal number 7 as a requirement by December 31st. This is just a sample of, we created some fun competition for our area directors. I love a friendly competition. It keeps people on their toes. When you see your neighbor succeeding, you say, oh, let me come along with you, neighbor. Let's play along. And it creates a nice fellowship among everybody because we all want to be successful. And our area directors, that's how they measure themselves. Division directors also measure themselves. We recognize people at every DEC. The process control out of the 12-week year program, of course, we did our weekly plans, our scorecard, but we had tools. At the district level, we have the district leadership handbook. At the club level, you have your club leadership handbook. That should be your Bible, that should be your tool. Work in teams, Ross talked about teams. At the district, we have current and past district leaders. At the club level, you have your club officers who have served in that role. If you're a new club, of course, you'll be assigned a mentor who will assist you in acclimating to the Toastmasters program. District level, again, you have your region advisor. Sorry, Roz, you're the only one. Now here's a scorecard. This is how we measured ourselves. Some of you who were part of that group, you probably remember this. And today we're reminiscing about that year. You received this in an email. These are the things that we measured. We measured officer training. Because it was August, we needed to make sure that officers are trained. We were tracking mute labs that were chartered. We were tracking mute lab leads. The reason we did this, every division was assigned a color. Some divisions may not have been successful in chartering a club, but at least they had some leads. This was to say not all is lost. We're successful in other areas, therefore, let's keep working. By the end of August, we had achieved 91% of officers trained. Our officers wanted the training. September now, we were tracking something else. We're done with officer training. Now we're tracking dues renewals. The beauty of the 12-week year program allows us to stay on top of what is it that we're required to do at specific timeframes. Again, we measured the labs. Oh, sorry, the divisions, but the divisions, of course, measured the labs. By the end of September, our goal was to have 5 clubs, 1 club per division. We were able to achieve 4 out of 5. We were happy. Remember the 12-week year, a B is good enough, 85%, we go for that. November, we focused on area director visits. The goal was to make sure that those visits are complete before Thanksgiving. You want to be with your family. You don't want to receive a call in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner, right? Where are your area director visits? No, we wanted you to be able to enjoy that. All areas got their visit. Out of sight, out of mind. You are the liaison between the clubs and the district. 100% club visits. That was the goal. Of course, we followed the same program when the new year started. We had an Olympian visit us. We humanized the Distinguished Club program. We called people up on stage. People could see, oh, these are my club members. We celebrated new clubs. And now with Toastmasters, you know, membership, we have 3 programs. In September, August to September, we have the Smedley. February to March, we have Talk Up Toastmasters. And then right now in May and June, we have Beat the Clock. Towards the end of the year, we brought in Lance Miller to be our keynote speaker. One of the items that I enjoy about his talk, he talks about owning your club. Sometimes you'll hear members trying to blame the district, or maybe they'll blame Toastmasters, but not realizing that people walk in and they join a club. Are you creating an environment that's welcoming? Are you creating an environment that says, I want to be a member of this club? And people left with that knowledge, wanting to do more. Now the scores started coming in. We started achieving, by June 21st, we had achieved the membership goal and District 12 was distinguished. But if you can see inside these bubbles, there is nowhere where we're talking about this distinguished thing. We're happy, but what's the focus? President's distinguished, right? By June 27th, we had achieved President's distinguished with the membership goal. Now, what about distinguished clubs? What we said was just 8 more distinguished clubs to reach President's distinguished. That remained the focus. That remained the scary vision that we had. On building new clubs, 3 more clubs remain. By June 30th, the year closes. We have a goal in the stool, in the 2 angles, but the 1 stool has not been achieved, right? Distinguished clubs, we got it. We got the payments. We just need 2 more paid clubs for our president. We had the club, but it had not shown up on our dashboard by the time the year closed. Do you know what happened? The calls I got from members, everybody was like, I have never seen such excitement from people. Well, 702, Toastmasters published. District 12 was President's Distinguished, and we got our gold. We were in Washington, D.C. Some of you can recognize your faces right there if you were there. District 12 got the gold, President's Distinguished District 12. But all we had to do, fellow Toastmasters, there was nothing here that the district did. The district was just cheering you on. The simplicity of this, you individual members discovered your gold, and it became a ripple effect, starting with you, the club, then to the area, and then the division and districts. Our final score to wrap up, District 12 was President's Distinguished, 5 divisions, 3 out of 5 were President's Distinguished. Out of 26 areas, 16 were distinguished and 3 were President's Distinguished, 3 select and 10 distinguished. We had 29 President's Distinguished labs, 12 select and 17 distinguished. This is where we get to reminisce again. It never gets old to say thank you, because without you, it's not possible. Were there challenges? Absolutely. There's nothing easy in this world. Every day we walk in with challenges. These are the different faces of that year. The phone would ring like, can I just switch it off? Tired, weariness. Sometimes you don't have the answers, but always you pump yourself up. I can do this. But you, the members, you provided that support, and self-care was very important. Is it too late to achieve this? No, it's doable. Let's turn impossible into I'm possible. All we have to do is execution. Make the dashboard your friend. Fellow Toastmasters, one of my favorite quotes was when Nelson Mandela was inaugurated as the first democratically elected president of South Africa and the very first Black president of South Africa. This quote was by Marianne Williamson. It reads, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in all of us, in these Zoom boxes inside that room at Jerry Petty's. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I have my light from that year. Remember, Anna? I still have my gold, and it's still shining. Fellow Toastmasters, can you imagine the possibilities? What is your gold? I still have my gold. Mr. Speaker's Bureau's Chair.